defining moments in which we come to an opportunity in our lives that will shape the future for us individually, and will also determine what type of legacy that we leave to our families. Okay? Our CEO, Dale Powell, he came to a defining moment in his life in 1988. Okay? Dale's from South Georgia, right there in Thomasville, where I'm from and where Robert's from. And he has spent 17 years with a debit company. Do you know what that term debit company means? Home service agency. You know, where they'd go week to week and they collect those 50-cent premiums and try to write Miss Jones a little more insurance. He did that for 17 years, and he got passed over every time a promotion came up. He never got promoted, okay? And he kind of got burnt out in 1988. He'd been there for 17 years and never was promoted. The most he was making back then was a little less than $300 a week, okay? And even back then, that wasn't any money. It wasn't. So he made a decision. He made a decision to leave independent life and start selling what we call today final expense life insurance. Okay? Why did he decide to leave? Well, to be honest with you, he got tired of being broke. He got tired of borrowing from Peter to pay Paul. He got tired of borrowing from Peter to pay Paul because he couldn't borrow any more from his cash value on his life insurance because he'd already borrowed all that. You know? Some of you may know what I'm talking about. Truth be known, we've all experienced those kind of things in our life. Okay? So he made a decision, and he started in the final expense industry. And why he did that was this. He wanted to not get paid what people thought he was worth. He wanted to get paid for what he knew he could earn. There's a difference. How many people grow up thinking, man, if I could just find an opportunity where I could get paid for what I'm worth? I don't want people to pay me for what I'm worth, because I ain't worth much. But I guarantee you, I will earn it. You won't outwork me. And that's the way Dale Powell thinks. So that was a defining moment for him in 1998. Now, our president, Ron Powell, his son, it was also a defining moment that same year for him. Ron was 18 years old. He was already in college. He got tired of seeing his daddy take the full brunt of responsibility financially for his family. He'd seen his daddy struggle for 17 years. So he dropped out of college, right? And he joined his daddy, and they started an agency called P&P Associates, okay? He was 18 years old, all right? Now, here's Ron's story. By the time he was 23, his dad and he had started an agency that had become very successful called P&P Associates. He had made $1 million 5 years later within a 12-month period at age 23. And they come from nothing, okay? They didn't have anything, you know? So that was a defining moment. And here's what you got to understand about them. If you get an opportunity to meet them, I hope you do, you'll see what I mean. Dale had 17 years worth of wisdom and discernment, okay? And then Ron come along, and Ron had this passion and this vision. And they were a deadly combination because both of them had a burning desire to succeed. They just had never been given an opportunity, okay? Well, I'm sure you've had some defining moments in your life. There was a defining moment in my life with Dale and Ron, and that was 1995. In 1995, the way this happened was, at the end of 1994, P&P Associates was growing. We'd been in Georgia, Florida, Alabama, Tennessee, but the company we were working with said that we're going to give you some more territory if you can handle it. Do you think you can handle it? So they opened up some more territory. They promoted myself and several other people. So I went from an 80% contract to an 85% contract. Got a big bump, didn't I? 5%, okay? 94, I was making $50,000 as a general agent producer. By the end of 95, I had developed an agency that did over $1.2 million in 12 months from January to December. Started with myself. My income quadrupled from $50,000 to a little over $200,000 in 12 months. Defining moment. Now, Here's what I want you to hear. It's not about me. I give God the glory for that, okay? Here's what I want you to understand. It's about Dale and Ron, who believed in me and gave me an opportunity, quite frankly, when no one else would. You know, from that point on, what happened is we just continued to grow. And every year after year, my income started increasing every year. Dale and Ron's income started increasing every year, okay? And before you know it, we were finding ourselves in a position to where we were able to actually buy an insurance company, okay? Now, here's the ironic thing about that. When Ron trained me, he was 19 years old, okay? And I was working with him, you know, in his early, 21, 22 years old. And he was saying, Mitch, he said, you went to college, didn't you? I said, yeah, I went to college. He said, what'd you go to school for? It's just a general studies degree. You know, I was in the Air Force, general studies degree. And, you know, was it in accounting? No, but I can add and subtract. What do you need? He said, well, I'm thinking about buying an insurance company. I said, okay, that's good. Let's go knock on another door. You know, my mindset was not ready for that, but Ron's mindset was ready at a very young age, okay? So we continued to grow. We were being very successful. Income's increasing. By the time 2000 comes along, Dale and Ron bought an insurance company. It was called Providence Security. They were in 6 southeastern states: Georgia, Florida, Alabama, Tennessee, Mississippi, South Carolina, I think. And there were about $4 million in assets on the books at that time. Changed the name to Senior Life Insurance Company. All right? 18 years later, we're in 41 states, including the District of Columbia. We now have over $117 million in assets. When we bought the company, listen, when we bought the company, there was no money borrowed. It was paid for with renewal income from the other company that we worked for. When we moved into our home office, some of you may have seen our home office on the website. There's not a dime owed on that. It was paid for. So see, we are positioned to grow, and that's the reason we're very, very interested in opening up this part of the United States, the West Coast. And I think that we've got some good leaders that's going to help us be able to take this to the level that we desire to take it. Amen. Okay? So, you know, fast forward, I was invited to become a shareholder. I became an RVP years before that, became a shareholder in 2000 with the company. Fast forward to 2012, at age 49, I retired. Went into full-time ministry with Dale and Ron's blessings. You know, very thankful. They've always supported me. Okay? Well, about a year and a half ago, I think it's been about a year and a half ago, Dale and Ron and Robert, we sat down and they said, you know, Mitch, we got a game plan that we want to take Senior Life Insurance Company to the next level. And we want to become a $1 billion company within a 5 to 7 year span.
How much of that do you want?
Yeah. So they invited me to come back and partner with them. And I did that, and I'm very thankful that I had that opportunity. You know? As Paul Harvey used to say, that's the rest of the story. That's not how the story started. Okay? In 1989, I got out of the Air Force with a bachelor's degree. We got any military veterans here? We have any veterans here? Thank you for your service. Would y'all help me? We couldn't do what we do if it wasn't for people who were willing to lay their life on the line every day. And thank you for that. I got out in 1989. I had a bachelor's degree. I'm from South Georgia. Nobody in my family had ever graduated from college. I'm going to go home to my hometown, and I'm going to find me a job, and life's going to be good. I sent out 500 resumes in the surrounding area of southwest Georgia. You know how many people called me? I'm not exaggerating. 0. 0 people. So by the end of November, I'd already sent those out, started in June of 1989. The end of November, I'm kind of panicking, you know? What am I going to do? Well, that's when Dale and Ron gave me an opportunity. Okay, but here's the rest of the story, okay? My mindset was not right. I was only going to do this till I found something better, okay? How many people told a first grade teacher when they said, what you want to be when you grow up? Ronnie did. He's smiling. I'm going to be an insurance agent. Any of y'all? I didn't either. But I guarantee you Ron Powell did, okay? So my mind, who wants to be an insurance agent? Some of you don't even want to be one now, right? So, you know, my mindset wasn't right, so I'm going to share this with you. I lasted 2.5 years. In July of '92, I left the company. But thank God for second chances. Because in July of '93, Ron hired me back. Now, I tell you all that to say this, okay? What was different in '95 when I built an agency to do $1.2 million in 12 months? Mindset. But in '92, I left the business, right? What was it that made the difference? It was my mindset, because I faced a defining moment. I had 2 defining moments in my career. In '92, I chose not to make the right choice. But in '95, I did, because here's what I tell you about defining moments. Defining moments demand a decision, one way or the other, okay? So what did I do to help myself become successful? I can tell you one thing I didn't do. I didn't reinvent the wheel. Okay, whatever Dale and Ron did, I did, okay? You know, I started thinking about other people. I stopped worrying about me and started looking at the we kind of thing, okay? I stopped making excuses for my failures and started executing a process and a plan that they had put in place. As a matter of fact, I was the kind of person before '95 that I actually used the people that I loved the most and who loved me the most, and I manipulated them in order to justify my excuses. Okay, here were some of my excuses when I failed. Dale and Ron gets all the good leads. I have to work the areas that are poor or too rich. Okay? Ron won't work with me and help me. Okay? That's what I was telling Dale and Ron. I mean, that's what I was telling my wife. But then I was going home and I was telling my wife or telling Dale and Ron that I was going back to work with Dale and Ron, and I was telling them that, you know, my wife's pregnant, so I can't work as hard as y'all do. I can't travel and be out of town like y'all can, okay? I need to be close to home after the baby comes so I can help my wife. And, you know, this commission thing, I don't think my wife really likes this straight commission stuff because we don't have insurance and stuff. Back then we didn't, okay? So I was making excuses. So the difference is I stopped making excuses and I started executing the plan that they had put in place. I set my mind to do that. Now, why did I tell you these stories? Is it so we can compare barefoot uphill in the snow stories? No. My story is no different than yours. You know, the only difference is I had some people who believed in me when I didn't even believe in myself, who were willing to take a chance on me and who gave me an opportunity when I didn't even know an opportunity existed because I just wanted to have a job until I could find something better. And that was, what, almost 30 years later. Okay? And I say all that because here's what I don't want you to do. I don't know where you are in life. I don't know what season of life that you're in. But I don't want you to miss out on the opportunity that senior life can provide to you and your family.
Amen.
You know, it's the real deal. I've lived it. You know, I want you to experience the success that we've had. I want you to help us. We need you to help us become the largest final expense company in the nation. Okay? We need you. And here's what I know. Here's what I know. When you lock arms with other people who think like you think, right? and who have the same desires that you have, which are to be successful, and who treat other people like you want to be treated, you cannot fail if you position yourself with the right mindset with the right people. See, here's what a lot of us don't do. I'm 55, but I'm going to tell you something. I'm about to take it up another notch. Because I know if I take it up another notch, not only am I going to be blessed, but I'm going to be able to bless a lot more people. And I know some of you right now are thinking, is this guy real? All I'm going to say is you hang around me long enough, you'll see how real I am. Because the bottom line is this. You got to dream big. I didn't dream as big then in the early years as I do now. Okay? You got to dream big. So that takes courage to dream big. So I invite you to dream big, okay? And then you got to be committed to that dream. That's the bottom line. You got to be committed to the dream. And then you got to surround yourself with people who are like-minded. So that's the reason I share those stories with you. I hope that the story, these are real. I mean, I could write a book, you know, but it ain't about writing a book. I want to see you face to face, and I want to pour into you, and I want to see you be successful because I don't want to see you miss out on an opportunity. And if you got the right mindset, and only you can make that choice. Only you can make that choice. What decision will you make today? If you're already with a company, you're not where you need to be, then you need to check your mindset a little bit, okay? Maybe we need to help you some more. Whatever, we need to partner together. If you're not with a company and you're really looking for a real opportunity, then you need to really check where you're at in life and see if this is something that God's calling you to do that you could really pour yourself into. I can tell you this, I'm doing a lot of traveling over the last 12 months, and everywhere I go, I see faces like yours. People who are hungry for a real opportunity because they've not found it yet. Or maybe they haven't created the right mindset yet. So you know better than I do where you're at. So I just challenge you today to think where you're at in your mindset. And if you have the right mindset with the right opportunity, then God only knows what kind of blessings that you'll receive and how you can be a blessing to others.